Welcome to Audiobook 365 Stories.
Mr. and Mrs. Claude Turpin were a young couple living in the big city of Bluff. They were happy together and lived in a nice apartment. Their marriage was unique because they met on a ferry boat and made a bet. This got them a lot of attention in the newspaper. Mr. Turpin earned $200 every month. After paying for rent, furniture, gas, and other bills, they still had $200 left to spend. How they managed this was a secret of city life. Their life at home looked nice, but it wasn't like a calm painting you could admire. It was more like a busy city street at night. Their home was always bustling, like a busy street. Every day was the same, just like in New York City. In the morning, Mr. Turpin rushed out without breakfast to go to work. Mrs. Turpin would get up later, make coffee, and relax in her robe. Mr. Turpin ate lunch downtown and came back home at 6 to get ready for dinner. They always ate out, trying different places every time. They went to all kinds of restaurants, from fancy ones to casual ones. This was how life was in the city. One day, Mr. Turpin realized that his wife was spending too much money. They had $200 each month, but after paying bills, he noticed that $50 was missing. He suspected his wife was spending it. So, one afternoon, he asked her about it. "I say, Vivian," said Mr. Turpin, "you've been spending a lot of money this month. Have you been paying your dressmaker?" The Turpins were happy. They made lots of friends and enjoyed their social life. Their home was cozy and followed the rules of living in the city. There was a moment of quiet. Only the sound of the dog breathing and the gentle hiss of Vivian's hair against the curling iron could be heard. Mr. Turpin, sitting on a pillow on the sofa, watched his wife closely. "Dear Claudie," she said, touching her finger to her mouth, "you're wrong. I haven't given any money to Madame Toinette since you paid the tailor." Mr. Turpin felt better after hearing her explanation. But soon he received an anonymous letter. "Be careful with your wife's spending. I've been through the same. The address is number 345 Blank Street. Just a friendly warning. A man who knows." Turpin showed the letter to the police captain in his area. "Our area is very safe," said the captain. "But if you think something's wrong, I'll go with you." The next afternoon at 3, Turpin and the captain quietly went up the stairs of number 345 Blank Street. Some plainclothes policemen, dressed in full uniforms, were waiting downstairs to avoid drawing attention. At the top of the stairs, they found a locked door. The captain used a key from his pocket to unlock it, and they went inside. They entered a large room where about 25 elegantly dressed ladies were present. There were racing charts on the walls, and a man with a telephone was talking excitedly about horse races. The people in the room looked at Turpin and the captain, but then focused back on the man with the telephone. "You see," said the captain to Turpin, "the importance of an anonymous letter. No gentleman should take it seriously. Is your wife here, Mr. Turpin?" "No, she isn't," said Turpin. And even if she was, continued the captain, would she be doing anything wrong? These ladies are part of a Browning Society. They meet to discuss poetry. The telephone is connected to Boston, where they share their interpretations of poems. You shouldn't be suspicious, Mr. Turpin. Please stop talking, said Turpin. Vivian knows how to manage herself. She's not gambling on horses. There's something strange happening here. It's just a poetry discussion, said the captain. Hear that? The poem Thanatopsis won, said the man at the telephone. That's not Browning, that's Longfellow, said Turpin, who sometimes read books. Never mind, said the captain. I don't see any problem. I still think something's wrong, said Turpin. I disagree, said the captain. I know it looks like a place for gambling, continued Turpin, but there's more to it. Vivian is spending a lot of money somewhere. I think there's something illegal going on here. A bunch of papers about horse races were stuck closely together on one wall. Turpin, feeling suspicious, ripped down some of them. Behind them, a hidden door was found. Turpin listened carefully at the crack and heard many voices, soft laughter, and a sharp, metallic sound like tiny objects moving around. Oh no, just as I thought, whispered Turpin to himself. Call your men quickly, he shouted to the captain. She's in there, I'm sure of it. At the captain's whistle, the plainclothes men hurried up the stairs into the room. When they saw the gambling stuff spread out, they stopped, surprised and confused. But the captain pointed to the locked door and told them to break it down. They quickly smashed it with their axes. Turpin dashed into the other room, followed closely by the captain. The sight stayed in Turpin's memory for a long time. Around 20 women, dressed in expensive and fashionable clothes, many of them beautiful and elegant, were sitting at small tables with marble tops. When the police burst in, they screamed and ran around like colorful birds startled in a forest. Some became hysterical, a few fainted, and others knelt before the officers, begging for mercy because of their families and social status. A man sitting behind a desk grabbed a roll of money as big as the ankle of a dancer and jumped out of the window. Meanwhile, half a dozen assistants gathered at one end of the room, looking scared. Upon the tables were piles of evidence showing that the women in that room were guilty. Dish after dish filled with ice cream, surrounded by stacks of empty ones, scraped clean to the last spoonful. Ladies, said the captain to the tearful group of prisoners, I won't hold any of you. Some of you I know have nice homes and good reputations, with hard-working husbands and children at home. But I'll give you a little lecture before you leave. In the next room, there's a horse that won at 20-1 odds, 3 lengths ahead of the others. Is this how you waste your husband's money instead of helping to earn it? Go home. We're putting a stop to this ice cream business in this area. Claude Turpin's wife was one of the women caught in the raid. He led her back to their apartment in stern silence. There, she wept with remorse and begged for his forgiveness. He forgot his anger and embraced his repentant wife, Vivian. "Darling," she whispered through tears as the moonlight shone on her face. "I know I did wrong. I won't touch ice cream again. I forgot you're not rich. I used to go there every day. But today, I felt something sad and strange, and I wasn't myself. I only ate 11 saucers." "Don't say more," Claude said gently, caressing her hair. "Are you sure you forgive me?" asked Vivian, looking at him with pleading eyes. "Almost sure, my dear," answered Claude, kissing her forehead. "I'll let you know later. I've bet a month's salary on Vanilla to win the horse race tomorrow. If it wins, it means the ice cream hunch was right and you're forgiven.